Hi friends, I'm Diane. I'm 59 years old, postmenopausal, and I have lost and maintained a 104-pound weight loss since starting a GLP-1 medication in November of 2022. So I'm sorry I haven't posted anything recently. Life has been lifing again, and there's a lot of things going on in the background here, and things that probably aren't going to get resolved anytime soon, probably within the next few months maybe. So just trying to plod along, and but today I thought I would talk to you about something that came up on my GLP-1 journey. If you've watched my previous videos, I've mentioned that I haven't been tracking my food. It has gotten somewhat burdensome to me to do so, and so I've kind of just stopped doing it. But I was looking at the app that I normally use to track my food. It's an app called My Net Diary, and I have been using it for quite a while, probably at least a year and a half. You can put in your height and your weight and your age and your level of activity, and it will tell you how many calories you should eat if you want to lose, weight. So I had done that, and the calculation that I've been going off of is, it's been telling me, well, just let me give you my stats. I'm 5'6", I'm 59, and my current weight as of this morning is 251. And when I put all of that into my Net Diary, I also put in that I'm sedentary. I have a pretty sedentary job. I'm an editor of a scientific journal, so I sit at my desk a lot most of the day, and I haven't been super consistent with working out. So I put all that in, and it spit out that I should be eating about 1,959 calories a day. Now, I've always kind of felt that that was high. To me, that kind of felt more like a maintenance level of calories, but I was like, okay, well, that's what it says. I put in everything. I've been thinking that those numbers are wrong. But I just wasn't, I don't know, I just felt it wasn't right. So I started putting it, I brought up some TDEE calculators. If you don't know what those are, I'll link a couple down in the description box. It's basically, you put in all that same information and it spits out your basal metabolic rate, and then you can adjust it to calories, and you can adjust macros based on whether you want to eat low carb or high carb or whatever. So the other day I decided to just use one of those, or use a couple of them and see what that came up with. And surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, it came up that I should be eating a lot less calories a day. Like, I think I did 2 or 3 of them, and it came up around 1,600 calories, which is a significant difference from the 1,975 that my Net Diary was telling me to eat. Over the course of a week, that's almost a pound of, if I eat 1,600 calories instead of 1,975, I would lose almost I would lose almost a pound just based on that. Or I should lose a pound based on that, almost. So I was like, okay, there's just something screwy here. But I wasn't sure what to do about it. And so I had sort of a tangential thing. Bob has a garden in our yard, and we are at the point in the garden where we are slammed with tomatoes, and to the point where we can't possibly eat them all. We also have a ton of cucumbers, but that's a whole nother thing. So the past few years when this happens, I've been making sauce out of it. The tomatoes that he grows aren't necessarily tomatoes you grow to make sauce, but you do what you got to do. So last weekend I made this enormous pot of sauce, and the thought of trying to calculate the macros on it was just daunting because math is not my strong point. I've never been good at it. I had to get extra help in school with it. I hate math. So I thought, what if I plugged it into ChatGPT? What if I just weighed all of the ingredients, put it in ChatGPT and have it see if it would tell me what the calories and the macros would be for it. So I did that, and it spit it out in about 5 seconds. Something that would have probably taken me 2 minutes to calculate in my head, or calculate, period. And it told me, well, if you tell me how many servings you get out of this, then I can give you a per serving calories, macros things. So I did that. I had 22 1-cup servings of sauce. That's how much sauce I made. Anyway, so I was like, okay, well, that's good. That's helpful. So then, of course, that started my wheels turning. And I'm like, I wonder if I ask ChatGPT what my calories and my macros should be, what it would come up with, whether it would tend towards the My Net Diary calculation, or would it tend towards the lower. So I did. I basically put in the same information. I put in my age, I put in my height, I put in my weight, I put in that I'm sedentary, and it came back with that I should be eating 1575 calories a day. And I'm like, that's like 400 calories a day. You know, that's 2,800 calories a week. That's almost a pound difference. Now, I didn't tell ChatGPT that I was on a GLP-1. I just said, I want to lose 53, at the time it was 53 pounds in the course of a year. So 1 pound a week, that's what I want to lose. And so that's the numbers it spit out. I did not tell it I was on a GLP-1. So I started thinking, I wonder what it would say if I told it that I was on a GLP-1. So I put in the prompt that, you know, I've been on a GLP. I told it I've been on Mounjaro. I've been on it for 3.5 years. I've lost 100, I think I put like 100 pounds. I said, would that affect the macros? And it came back and said, yeah. It said it would actually it would recommend that I actually increase the calories to 1750, only to account for the increase in protein that I should be eating. So I thought that was really interesting. But it also went into this kind of long discussion about not taking that number as a hard and fast rule. If you're losing weight faster than a pound a week, maybe you want to up your calories just a little bit. If you're not losing weight, or it's not the full like 1 pound a week, maybe you want to decrease your calories a little bit and adjust it. So it gave me like this whole long dissertation, and it was actually interesting to read. So thinking about that, I started thinking, well, I wonder if I could use ChatGPT just to track my food intake, because I have mentioned on the channel that is like the most tiresome aspect of being on a GLP-1 for me, is the meal tracking. I hate it. It's such a chore for me. I get bogged down. I get too fixated on the numbers, and it just takes up too much mental space for me. So put in a prompt. I said, if I tell you what I eat in a day, can you calculate all the macros for me? And it said, sure, okay. So I started on Monday, today is Friday, and I just typed in what I ate, you know, and it would calculate everything within seconds. And it would keep the running, it could keep a running, if I went in the morning and I put in what I had for breakfast, went in at lunchtime, it would keep a running total for the day. And so then I created a spreadsheet, and I'm putting that information into the spreadsheet. I know I could have ChatGPT do it, but you know, I can do that. That's not a chore to me. So I've been using it. Today is my 5th day using it. And I will say that the mental strain on me is much lower. I will also say that ChatGPT does get things wrong. You know, I try to eat as many whole foods as I can, but I do use packaged processed foods. Everybody does. You have to. It's basically, if you have the time and the energy and everything to eat just whole foods all the time, bless you. I don't, so I do what I can. It does get things wrong. For example, the other day I had one of those Faye yogurt cups, you know, where it's split and the yogurt's in one side and it's got fruit in the other, and you mix it together. It was off by like 20 calories and 2 grams of protein. So it does get things wrong. And it does say that in the prompt, that it can be wrong. So now I'm making sure that when I do anything that's packaged, I make sure that the macros that it's coming up with are the same that's on the package. But if I do that, it will remember whatever it is. Like if I have another one of those Faye yogurt cups, it will pull the macros I gave it. So that's an important thing to know, that, you know, double check if you decide to use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI tool, make sure that you double check the macros and stuff, because it's never 100% correct. So this has been an interesting experiment for me. I think I'm going to continue to do it for the time being. Like I said, it's taken a huge mental load off of me. I'm now tracking what I'm eating and my calories, because I have been stuck in this 250 to 255 range for months, and I need to break it. I'm over it. And I'm hoping that this is going to help me do that in the most simplest ways possible. Now, all that being said, I am overall cautious and have a lot of trepidation about AI. I have only used ChatGPT to create my thumbnails for my videos, because I have zero talent for that kind of stuff. I'm aware of some of the negative aspects of AI, the use of AI. I am trying to use it sparingly. It is creeping into my job. I'm not fond of that. Like I said, I'm an editor. I edit a scientific journal. I am employed by a university, and the university has just given us all access to Claude. I can have my own Claude account if I want through my job. It's voluntary. You don't have to do it. I haven't done it yet. I don't see a use for it in my job, but I know that there are publishers and media and all this that do use AI. There are publishers of scientific papers who, if you click on a particular paper online, will give you an AI summary in like the sidebar. Kind of like if you've ever used Google and you get that AI summary at the top of whatever you Google. Publishers are starting to do that in articles. They're starting to use AI to edit manuscripts. And that is a very slippery slope that it's going down. So I am being cautious about what I do and what I use AI for. AI probably isn't for everybody, and I'm not just using it willy-nilly. I'm trying to be very strategic in how I use it. But for right now, I'm finding it helpful. We'll see going down the line how I feel about continuing to use it, but for right now, just to get me kind of grounded and hopefully kickstart my weight loss without the mental strain of having to do every little thing in terms of tracking. I'm going to continue to use it, but I'm very mindful of how I use it. So, you know, I know that there's going to be people who are going to be screaming about using AI, and I get it. I understand. I am kind of in that boat too, but I'm using it in a very small and targeted way. So I'm curious, have you used AI for any aspect of your GLP-1 journey? Whether it's tracking food, calculating things, keeping track of your shots, or whatever it is. Are you using some form of AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or something else? If so, leave it down in the comments. I'm curious to see if there's anybody else doing this right now. I don't really see it talked about a whole lot on YouTube, so that's kind of part of the reason I wanted to make this video, to talk about how I'm using it. And if you are using it, what is your experience? Is it helpful? Is it not? Is it screwing everything up for you? Is it making things easier? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're thinking about using AI, let me know. What would you use it for if you were going to start? So I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. If so, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you. Like I said, I've lost 104 pounds. I still have a significant amount of weight I want to lose. So I'm still on my journey, even though I'm 3.5 years in. If you would like to join me, I would love to have you. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. I will talk to you again, hopefully soon. Take care.
Give a little bit of loving, just a little bit the real.